Hello and welcome to this presentation. My name is Lee Snyder, the product manager for the Steel segment here at Tekla Inc. And I'm joined by Dave Reniger, who's the application consultant on the engineering segment. And what we're going to show today is the new model review solution that we have that's now available with the project viewer license in Tekla Structures. So I'm going to simulate being the detailer. Dave's going to simulate being the engineer, and we're just going to show this workflow of how we can use the a reviewer role, which is a new role that we've created here within Tekla, to use that to help do the shop review. So what I'm going to do here, I'm the detailer. I've created my model here, just a basic one here. I've produced the drawings, and I want to send this over to the engineer who's using the project viewer license within Tekla to come in and start reviewing this and status the model. So a couple things that I can do, I'm just working in my normal steel detailing license. I have all of my normal filters and everything like that. And if I want, what I can do is I can come in and just real quickly just filter out specific information for the engineer that I want them to review. So I could create like a sequence 1 for approval filter. Just go in here, hit modify, and then this would be the information that they would see when I save the model. So I could just come in here and save the model that particular way, and then to transfer this, all I need to do is just come in here and just zip up this folder. So that my project is called the model review video. I could just come back here right click on here and then zip this up or send to compressed file, however you want to do that, and then just transfer that over to the engineer so that they have all of my specific settings and everything like that. They can open it up, begin to do the review, and then to bring all of their status information back into the model, they're just going to send me just a few files that I can import into my current project, which is a workflow that we'll show here in a minute. So here I can just come in and zip this up, give this whatever name that I want, send that over to the engineer. In this case, I'm going to send it over to Dave, and he's going to begin the review for us.
Okay, so now that I've gotten Lee's model, now whether this is via email, via Dropbox, any kind of cloud server, it's up to you. Good workflow ideas there. So this is the zip file that the fabricator detailer sent over to me. So basically just unzip it just like it would any other zip file and place it here. So again, if we open up this file, this is the actual Tekla Structures model folder here with all that information as well. All right, so now I'm going to come in and just open up Tekla version 21, and you'll see here, so the roles now, we've added this reviewer role. This is what Lee was talking about, and this is geared up here to work with our new project viewer configuration as well. So once I have these set up, I'm just going to open up Tekla. Now I'm just going to browse to that model. But again, now you see, so when I open up this model, this is that filter that Lee had set before he sent it over to. So again, it's going to make it nice and easy now for the approver team to come through and see exactly what it is that we're looking at on this submittal. All right, now real quick, just some of the things that we did here, just kind of explain what this reviewer role really is about. One of the big things that we did here, if we just double click on a part, is you'll notice here that all the user defined attributes in the reviewer role are really stripped out, so that the only thing that you can actually modify now is the review status information. All right. So as you can see in here, it's broken down. We have different submittals that we can status per part. So each part is set up out of the box to be able to be resubmitted twice, so 3 submittals total. But again, this is great for the reviewer. You can't accidentally override some of the fabrication, shipping, preliminary mark, user-defined attributes that a lot of fabricators and detailers are going to use throughout their workflow process. So again, all you can actually status now is the review information. Same thing here. So the filters now, we have some just select filters that really just apply here to the approval process. What are these statuses by the different parties, review parties here, as well as object filters as well. All right, so when I come in now to start reviewing, one of the easiest things that we'll start with is probably come down here and enable the Select Assemblies button. This way now I can come in, I can just double click if I want to get any kind of assembly properties again, just like we showed before. What's also good is we can come up here to our macros and we use the Open Shop Drawing macro. Again, you'll notice here that the macros list has also been stripped down for this reviewer role. So I'm just going to come in here to my macros, Open Shop Drawing, hit run, and then I'm just going to ask me to, Tekla's going to ask me to pick an object. So I'll just pick this column assembly here, and now it's going to come through and open up the actual shop drawing. So here I can come through and see everything here about the object. I can come down and check out the bill of material for any objects I might have. So now when it comes to actually reviewing this, now again, I can also come through and I can status this drawing as well. So if I double click on the drawing, if I come in here to the user defined attributes, you'll notice that this drawing as well has this same information. So again, we can come in here, submittal 1. I'm playing the role of the architect, the engineer today. I can come in here and just put in here, sure, what are my initials, remarks. If there's any kind of remarks, depending on what my approval status is, this one I'm just going to approve it. Good enough here. So I can modify this. Now I've actually statused this drawing as well. Okay. So now again, once I've statused the drawing, I can also come back here into the model. So we'll close out of the drawing. We'll come back in here to C1. So we can status this as well on the actual in the model level as well. So again, we'll come through here, set up the date. Again, put in my initials here and any kind of comments approved. Modify here. All right. So what's good then is what we can do is we can come in here to our our object representation rules, and I can colorize the model here by my different statuses. So this is great here, so I can just come through here and just say, okay, let me colorize by the engineer status, modify now, and this is going to be a great tool to help me as well. So we can see anything that has not been reviewed yet is going to be real transparent, kind of harder to see, but obviously now whatever parts we do status, we're going to get the green, yellow, red colorization based off of whatever statuses we give it here in the model. Okay, so first assembly approved, easy enough to do. So let's go through now and actually kind of add some comments and some markups to these, to some more assemblies. So again, we'll come back up here to our macros. Let's open the shop drawings. Let's open up a beam drawing here. All right, so maybe now in this beam drawing something needs to change, whether it's one of the welds or the shear plate. Okay, so this one will be a little bit different. Again, we have all the bill of material information here that we can use to easily dissect to get us started here. So I'm just going to come through here and I'm just going to add a note. Again, we'll go submittal 1. Come in here for the date. Marks, I'm just going to say here, revise clip angle welds. Okay, so again, I can just add a comment in here, just going to get a little bit notes, and then again, now this one will just say here approved as noted. And modify here to status the actual drawing. All right, then we come back out now to the model. We'll do the same thing here. So again, we're going to come back in here to our assembly in the model. We're going to add this information as well. Okay, so again, we can come through here, put the initials in. Now, whether or not we want to put the comments as well in here, we can put the comments in here. We could also say see drawings. A lot of different options we have for this as well. So then again, we'll come in here, approved as noted, and modify. So again, now you can see, so now we have one assembly that's approved as green. Another one that's approved as noted is now yellow. Okay. So again, we can start to approve this on the, just with notes as well. Now, one other option we do have when it comes to actually adding these comments to parts is that not only can we just apply a note here, revise the clip angle welds, but with this new reviewer role and this new workflow, we can actually status the individual objects that do need to be revised. Again, this is going to eliminate a lot of the processing time going back to the fabricator and detailer as well. So what I mean by this is we could come in here, let's just pick another member here. If we would come into the status inside here, we'll just come in here and just fill in some basic information here real quick. Put in the initials. And here we can just say, see comments on, or just see comments. And again, approved as noted. Okay, so say approved as noted, modify. But now what we can do is we can actually come in and modify some individual objects here. So if I rotate my model around here a little bit, I can actually come in now, instead of actually statusing the assembly, I can come down here and change my option here to select objects in assemblies. And these parts as well, I have the option to come through here. So if I want to revise these clip angles for any reason, I could just come through here, double click, and modify these actual individual properties as well. So now, instead of just statusing that on the assembly level, I can come through here and put my information on here as well. So again, we'll come in here and say, just to change this up here a little bit, we'll just say here, revise to 3/8 inch. Okay. And now this one, just to get a little bit difference, I'm going to say this to be revised and resubmit. And modify this as well. Okay, now I've made a separate comment on the object level than I have on the assembly level. So easy enough here, we can easily get this from the model as well. This is where we just need to change one of our object representation rules. So you notice here right now, the one that I have set is based off the assembly, but we also have the engineer's approval status on the object level. So now when I modify this, now I can see that those clip angles are actually red as well. Okay, so in this case, when you start doing this, it might be actually good to modify the main part of the assembly as approved as noted, and then come in and individually mark up the clip angles as well. So a lot of different options here as far as what level of detail you need to go to get your approval comments into the model. All right. So one other way that we have to nicely figure out, you see exactly where we're at with the submittals, besides just this colorization here, again, which is a nice, quick, easy way, we can also use the organizer to digest the approval information as well. So here I'm just going to load up the organizer, and you'll see here we have some nice statuses already created here. So again, I'm just going to synchronize with the model. Now I can come in and I can search here for my engineer status, and you'll notice here we already have some as approved, approved as noted, and no value as well. So I can easily come through here on my engineer status. If I say here my reviewer status role, what I can do is I can easily just start to expand this information here as well. And if we see the object type with no name to it, that's probably just a component or maybe the assembly. But now when I come through here as well, I can easily see now what the status is for if this has already been approved by the architect or the GC, I can see their comments really easily on the fly here as well. So again, just by using some of the nice functionality here inside the organizer, I can also come up here and let's sort instead of by the object type, maybe here sort by the assembly position. This is a great way now here if we come through, we can just expand this view out, and now we get a nice list here broken down here by position. So again, we can see here all the information. We're just going to sort different ways we can sort this list as well. So you'll see now we have the name, the profile information here. So again, real nice, easy way on the fly to come through and see exactly where this is at. So again, a lot of different information, how we can process the information here as well. And we can even combine these identical rows as well to give it more of a traditional bill of material style here as well. So again, just a lot of different options and tools to go through and really process all the information. And again, if we see anything in this list that we need to put an update on, we can simply right click and say here, select in the model, and now it's going to go through and it's going to select those actual individual plates here in the model as well. So again, if we see something this way, easy enough to come through, find all these P4s, go through, status them at one shot instead of maybe on 10 or 15 different assemblies. All right. All right. So now that I've gone through and I've added all my comments and statuses here in the model, now I need to get the information back to the fabricator and detailer. Okay. So again, being that we have a direct copy of their production model, all of our identifiers, the GUIDs, the globally unique ID numbers are exactly the same in my model that I'm reviewing as they were in the production model. So this allows us now to just create some basic reports to send back to the fabricator and detailer where they can go back now and import those in the model. All right, so we're going to show next. So again, if we come up here to our show macros, we also have here the other macro that's in the reviewer role now is the multi-report generator. All right, so we just run this macro here. And this is a great macro here, just like the name says. We can create multiple reports at one time. And if you see here, we just have some different objects in here. Different settings are already localized. So whether it's for the architect for all your reports, if we want to break it down by assemblies, drawings, or objects, or also by the review team. So if I come in here, since I'm playing the engineer now, if I load this, what this is going to do, if I scroll down here, it's going to create these three .csv reports, or basically reports that are formatted to open up in Microsoft Excel. Okay, so as you can see, this will take all the comments that are on any of the assemblies in the model, the individual objects like those clip angles that I marked up, as well as any statuses on the drawings. Okay, so with these three checked, I can just say here, which objects do I want to use? Is it based off of all the objects, or I can do by selected as well. So I'm just going to come through here and say, sure, base this off of all objects and create. Now the good thing is that you can format this based off of the all objects because the reports themselves are formatted to only output if there is a status been applied to these parts. All right. So now that I've created these reports, all I have to do is simply now just come in here, open up the model folder. We'll see in here that in our reports folder, now we have these three reports. Okay, so again, I'm just going to select all these files. Now again, whether I create them in a zip folder, email them back to the detailer, put them up on an FTP set or Dropbox, again, all those communications. But what's nice is, as you can see here, the file size is really going to be minimal what we're returning back as opposed to transferring an entire model both ways.
All right, so I've received the files back from Dave. He just copied them here onto this jump drive. So I'm just going to open this up. Here's these specific files. And then these I can just copy them to the model folder or onto the desktop. Doesn't really matter. I'll just paste them here on my desktop. And then what I can do with those is just come up here to File, Import, and then I'm going to come down to Attributes. I'm going to attribute import these files directly into the model. So here I'll just come here. First I'll just bring in the comments for the assemblies. Hit OK. I can set up any specific settings that I may want, but I'll just apply, hit create. It's going to go through, bring those in, and then it'll show me a report here if I want of the status that it brought in. So I'll just do that 2 more times. So I got the assemblies. Let's go ahead and bring in for the drawings. Got those there, and then 1 more for the individual objects, those angles that Dave statused. All right. So now that I have those, what we've done is we've created, along with this reviewer role, is a new still detailing INI file that will bring in all of the reviewer role information. What I mean by that is that all these colorization, these object representations and filters that Dave's able to use, I can use those in conjunction with all of the other things that I have here within my model. So if I wanted to come in and colorize my model now by the assembly status for the engineer, now I can see the exact same thing that Dave was looking at. If I can come in and inquire, then I can come in and view all of the user-defined attributes that have been statused there. The other thing that I can do as well is come down here to the object level, and let's go ahead and modify those guys. And then there are the clip angles, same type of thing here, that if I want to come in and inquire on these or just open up the user-defined attribute dialog box, those will be available since we merged those in here. So here's all that information, just like Dave was able to see on his side, has been merged in on my side. And then I can come in, make any model changes that I may need to, and then package up the model, send it back if I need. One thing that we can also do is come in and view the drawings. So if I have all of the drawings in here, and I can just filter this one out and open up the user-defined attributes, and then here's the status there. So everything comes back, whether it's on the drawing level, object level, or the assembly level, for me to be able to view, see the comments, and then go through and make any changes as necessary, and then just continue on this process. Once I'm ready, I can package up the model and send it back. As the detailer fabricator, we just showed the example of just bringing in the engineering status, but I can bring in the status from the architect and from the general contractor, and then use their associated filters to view their status, or be able to view the entire status, which in this case we just have the engineering. So there's just a quick overview of the reviewer role that's been created that you can use with the project viewer license, which is the most basic license that we have. So we hope you enjoyed this presentation. If you have any questions, please reach out to us, either myself or Dave, and we hope you enjoyed this presentation.